Karen Holton TV presents the Aliens and Angels podcast. Meet experiencers, contactees, abductees, ET human hybrids, and more weird paranormal states of reality. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Aliens and Angels podcast 2026. Today, my returning guests are Skyrunner and Miya StarFire. Miya StarFire offers energy healing and clearing sessions. She holds certificates in Polarity Energy Healing, Dragon Energy Healing, Sound Healing, and Arcturian Energy Healing. She can help you to find your Starseed Origins or give you past life readings and will assist people so they can meet their own spiritual guides. Skyrunner is an energy healer and teacher of his own version of Qi Gong called celestial energy work, and he also offers akashic record readings. Join us as we learn more about Arcturian Energy Healing and celestial energy work for 2026. All of the links are featured below in the description. I want to thank you in advance for liking, commenting, subscribing, and please do share my content with your friends. So YouTube has been unsubscribing people. So if you think you're subscribed or you want to subscribe, please do so and make sure that you're already subscribed if you think you are. That would be really helpful to me. And I also want to let you know that YouTube channel memberships are now available, so you can receive my perks and help to support my channel. Well, without further ado, here's Skyrunner and Miya StarFire. Welcome back to the show, guys. How you doing?
Good.
Good.
Good. Thanks for having us.
Good.
Good.
You're doing
good.
Well.
Yeah. I'm a little tired. I've been doing a lot of extra podcasts to promote my books, and with me being the guest on the other side of the seat, so to speak. And I've really enjoyed sharing my experiences and my stories with everybody. It's been great, but I have not had too much time off. But I'm really looking forward to what you folks have to say. So I know you're both energy healers, and it seems like your work is quite complementary, actually. I'm wondering who wants to start off. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about the different healing modalities that you practice.
Yeah, you do a few different ones, Miya, if you want to go ahead.
Oh, okay. I first got my training in Polarity Energy Healing, and that's just basically it's all the same. I mean, really, there's a couple different movements and things and different types of energies to focus in on or ask for assistance with.
Mm-hmm.
But it all centers from love. So my first teacher taught me that it's all about love and bringing in the thought of love, and to, before you do the energy healing, to think of something that brings you joy and hold that into your body, and then bring it out to the client. And so after learning that, and then I got trained in, I got a certificate for Arcturian Energy Healing. Although the training was with all the healings, I kind of mesh them to create my own kind of modality with what I've learned, because it all essentially comes from the practitioner and the client or the person you're working on. Of course, when I'm doing Arcturian healing, I'm asking for my Arcturian guides to assist, and any guides that they might have that are the same density or dimension, or if they have Arcturian guides to help. But it's just about being a conduit and visualizing, and perhaps sometimes even having them visualize healing going through their body depending on what they need.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And with both of them, sometimes I get the call to use light language just as a modality of moving the energy, as well as using my hands to move the energy. And it's always channeled through my higher self. I don't, when I'm channeling and I'm doing dragon energy healing, I'm not channeling a dragon. It's just my higher self bringing in, my thoughts, and then they come out in the light language. So.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Yeah, I agree. When you start boiling, all these even, all these different healing modalities, energy healing, it's all kind of comes down to the same thing. We've got our guides, we've got our connections with higher beings, and we ask them for help. Well, at least mine are very benevolent, very willing to help, very loving. And they help me to intuitively know how to move my hands or what to do. One thing I do is I have a line of orgone generators and crystals that I sell from my website to help support my work. But before any of them go out, I do a ritual where I ask my higher self and my guides to funnel the energy. I bring it down from the heavenly spiritual realms through my crown chakra up through my from the earth and my root or my grounding chakras. I mix it within my body, and then I send it down my arms and out, usually through a wand, which I think kind of concentrates the energy, and then into the crystals. And I link them all. So every crystal or orgone generator is linked to every other. They go out into the world, they form a grid. So I know exactly what you're talking to, and I'm a total believer in that kind of healing. I just have one quick question for you before I bring on Jay to speak about his work. And that is, first of all, I believe that energy healing is no harm healing. I've never heard of anybody having a negative reaction to it. But also, when we do the healing in the higher realms, it also benefits the body. Whereas if I treat my body, it doesn't necessarily touch the other aspects of me that are in the higher frequency realms. And I'd just like to know what your thoughts are on that, Maya.
Yeah, I totally agree. I have never heard of anyone being harmed. I don't know where that idea of being harmed by any kind of energy healing came from. I've never heard of it personally from anybody I've known or has gotten it or who does it. So I'm not sure. I mean, I guess anything with ill will intent can be helpful, but that's nothing that I practice or anyone I know that is a healer. I mean, that'd be completely contradictory. But anyway,
it would.
Yeah, and so when we are working in the higher realms, it does very much affect our physical bodies. And in the higher realms, I don't think that we have any issues. But it definitely affects I mean, I've healed my hip before. It took several days of praying and energy work, and I've healed different things with my children. My child got poked in the eye, and her whole eye was red, and so I was very upset because it looked terrible. But I asked for so much help from all of my guides, and I prayed over her eye. And I'm the mother, so of course it's going to be super intense. And the next day it was gone. So some wonderful, beautiful things can happen when we work with higher beings and our higher self. And and I think the more intensity that we hold for it, the stronger it can happen. So.
I would agree 100%. Thank you for that. So, Jay, you do your own version of Qi Gong, and do you want to tell the audience, for those that aren't familiar with Qi Gong, what that does? That's kind of a self-healing, way that we can sort of come to more into our power. You also do akashic record readings. Do you want to tell everybody about what you do and what that might look like?
Yeah, well, energy work. Qi Gong just means energy work, right? In translation.
Mm-hmm.
And what I do is not what people think it is. So I'm just calling it celestial energy work, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I do a lot of the Qigong I learned. It's very powerful as well. So I have them on my YouTube for free videos that people want to go on and learn. Yeah, a lot of people think it's like learning long, complicated forms. They all have their benefit. Like I do like those too. But I got into it because of my father doing it. And he learned under a Qigong master that broke away from tradition that they didn't really like. He
Mm-hmm.
developed a system that turned it into a modality instead of what people think of it to be. So you can do it standing up, sitting down, or lying down, depending on your mobility. And each movement is just basically bringing universal energy in, exhaling smoke, leaving the body. And there's different aspects too, right? Like for lung healing, liver, you got the organ system, but it's very simple because we have the innate healing abilities within us, right? So we don't have to think of it so much as a modality. I'm trying to make it in a way that people turn it to their own through their own visualization, because visualization is real. It's imagination. Because
Mm-hmm.
when we imagine, we are projecting a possible timeline for ourselves, right? That's why affirmations and manifestation work. So yeah, so I was doing the qigong. Then when I got into doing the qigong meditations, I became clairaudient the first time. I couldn't get through
Mm-hmm.
energy center to energy center while laying there. I was getting different voices coming in my head, so I started journaling it. You know what I mean? Not crazy stuff. Well, it is crazy stuff if you think about it. So I started
Mm-hmm.
journaling stuff down. Then I started connecting with like the Pleiadians and Arcturians, and in dream time and lucid dreaming and clairaudient journaling to automatic writing. They were adding to what I was doing with this qigong, and some of the stuff there were it's so simple, but they said when they were here before in Lemuria, they were teaching the Lemurians that when they were going up to actually they were 13 strand DNA beings, not 12. That's what kind of my guide told me.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of got lost over the time, right? And ancient mystery schools kind of brought it back to China when they had the temples, and their teachings are very good, but it's the fact that we have the power within us, right? Like it's in our DNA wisdom through our cellular memory from all past lives and off-world incarnations. Like I preach about it all the time, doing the self work, and it's hard to do. It's hard for myself to get up and make myself do it. But besides just qigong, like we have portals and gates within our own body to access healing, channeling the astral realms, and when our body's not activated, we're not accessing those. Everyone talks about becoming psychic, clairaudient, clairvoyant, or channeling. Like we have guides around us, our local guides all the time. And if our bodies ain't operating properly, they have a hard time getting their messages to us, and we have a harder time accessing our own soul codes because our body wattage is low, right? And if our heart's stealing energy from our kidneys, then our that's affecting our spleen. If we have low spleen energy and liver energy, we have a hard time accessing the astral realms. So you want to keep
Mm-hmm.
the body working very well. And since I'm on this, I wrote something down before the show because I said I'm writing something for my healing book. So I'll just read it because I wouldn't be able to remember all off the top of my head. But
Sure.
it's kind of like this. It's like the body is the vehicle of will. If the vehicle is weak, will don't matter. Honor the body as the temple where discipline dwells. To wake up. Yeah, what I'm trying to do now is the morning routine is the most important, right? Because when we wake up, we're still in dream time societies where absolute healing and manifestation begins. Like most of us just get up, set the alarm, we jump up, we have our coffee, rush out the door, then we're going into the outside world, right? With the stresses
Mm-hmm.
of yesterday, being bombarded with the outside world first thing, disrupting our dreamtime society state. So I like to get up an hour early. I won't get into too much of that, but I wrote this down too because it's going to be my manual for the video course. So wake up before the world does. It becomes discipline, an untouched mind of pressure and judgment. Do your inner work before the demands of the day. This is where you connect the dreamtime societies, where I said where healing manifestation truly happens. Don't just get up, go out and react. The morning work you prepare before digital noise. Breathe, move, do your energy work before scrolling, before emails, before reading world issues. Because we're getting a dopamine hit when we just get up and start scrolling, right? It's throwing us off track. So wake up to who you are, not the outside world creating the version they see or project on you to be the character that is not you. You know, we go up and run out where energy's down. A dull sword don't sharpen itself, right? Work
Mm-hmm.
on your internal noise, not world chaos. You just say to yourself, I am strong, I am disciplined, I am. You know what I mean? Just do some breath work, or maybe just do some Qi Gong movements or whatever it is you do, right? Move a little bit, bounce a little bit. Just don't, you know what I mean? It's I tell people if they do this, like I'm making a free course on my YouTube right now that people can follow along. I think it's called Morning and All Day Qigong work. But you can notice your life transform within 3 days
Mm-hmm.
because it ain't just healing, right? You'll heal automatically because you're doing the work in the morning, breathing. Because breathing actually, you know what I mean? It oxidizes our blood, alkalines the body. Most of us don't breathe right, so just do a little bit of breath work before you get out of bed. Like I would set my alarm and hit snooze, do my breath work for 5 minutes. Don't sleep in, just jump right up, and I'll get right into doing stuff that I talk about in my videos. But when you do that, you're mastering your own mind before the outside world noise, right? Waking up because if you get up early, it's dark out, there's no one around, you're not at work, you're not doing whatever. It's like you are waking up before the world does. So that's where you can do your true work. And just by doing that, you're automatically creating manifestation. You don't have to sit and pray and beg for miracles or money or new car. You're creating that space within, right? Because you're
Mm-hmm.
realizing we're not waking up to stresses of yesterday. We're not worried about tomorrow. We're only focusing on the I am now and the I am ever presence. Just by saying that, you realize that you become a co-creator in this creation.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
That
wonderful.
was a big, that was a big spiel.
No, no, it's all good. I mean, this is what, the audience wants to know about. I want to know more about it.
But it's hard.
I
It's
started
hard.
doing, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I said a lot of people, like I tell even my friends, they won't do it because they said, "Oh, I just got no time for that." But you do, right? You got to make time for yourself. Like some
You
can't just be
do.
spiritual books and study because they're it's mind, body, and spirit. You're neglecting the body, right? And I don't tell people it's hard if you only got time to do 5 minutes. Start with five. Maybe next day add something else, and eventually you're doing 20 minutes, right? Whether it's
Mm-hmm.
just breathing slowly and going for a 20-minute walk if it's nice out, that's good enough to start right there. Okay, that's all I want to say.
No, it's awesome. I didn't mean to cut you off. I find actually just this year I started doing morning, kind of like Qigong and stretch exercises. I took Tai Chi at one point. So the warm-up exercises for Tai Chi was Qigong. So I don't follow a specific school or anything. But what I think is really
Hmm.
interesting is as I'm capturing the energy and moving it through my body, I definitely can feel an effect. I definitely can feel something's happening. And sometimes, because it involves a lot of sort of reaching out, I don't know if this is real. Maybe you could confirm it or deny it. It doesn't matter. For me, it's like standing inside of a sphere. And when we reach out, we're touching and brushing different positions or different spots on the sphere that surrounds us. And it almost to me feels like I'm pushing buttons to program my own healing and my own energy uptake. I know that sounds totally bizarre, but I'm
No,
just
it
saying
doesn't.
that's what it feels like to me. So I'm quite literally clearing my field and bringing in energy, but it's like being in a sphere. I don't have any other way to describe it. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, what you're actually doing is coming from your Pleiadian guide.
Interesting.
Only maybe not. The only reason I'm saying that is because I was shown that through my Pleiadian guide back in 2015 when I was in my lucid state of when they were teaching me healing methods. They show me the
Mm-hmm.
exact same thing that you're talking about. This may coincide with it. They showed me like this Pleiadian chirogenic egg sphere that you can surround yourself with, basically with
Mm-hmm.
your imagination. Like you're saying, reaching up and touching things. I was shown that, and as well as you can close your eyes and move mental blocks. They're mixed up in your
Mm-hmm.
field. You have a block here. Okay, no, that should be up here. You just get guided where to do it, right? I never got
Mm-hmm.
into it. I want to try to get back into that more because I was being shown all this different mapping system that you can do within that field, right? And that sounds a
Mm-hmm.
lot, a lot like what you were just saying.
And how is that tied in with reading the Akashic records, or are they two separate things?
Well, I don't know. I don't even know if I want to call it that, but that's what I've been guided to call it. For me, it's
Mm-hmm.
because I go out of body so much in astral travel that I keep going to spaces where it's no time, space time, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're outside of our linear time. And if I'm doing the work that I do, like practicing with that stuff and the things I do within the body for projecting astral travel, which I'm making a thing for that people can learn how to do it because we have certain points in the body that allows that. I
Mm-hmm.
realized when I started doing readings for people, I'm here in this time, but it's almost like my other self is still in no time, space time that it allows me. It's like I'm doing it like I don't channel. I don't have to go into trance and channel. I'm operating 1 second in the future and 1 second in the past.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, I am here speaking and drinking coffee and just shooting the crap. You know what I mean? I can still tap into it that way when I do the readings for people. And I call it the Akashic Records in the sacred neutral point of view. That way it's coming to me. I just got to say what comes in, not judge it, right? So it's in the sacred
Mm-hmm.
neutral. Because if I get judgmental on trying to force it or think it, I'm not really in the sacred neutral point of view anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
how I do it. Other people probably do it other ways, right? That's just how I was guided.
Oh, yeah, there's many methods. So I have another question for both of you. Maybe we'll start with Mia. I'm sorry, is it Mia or Maya?
It's Maya.
Maya, I'm
I know
sorry,
what you're
Maya.
saying, though. So
Well, still. Um, um, a lot of people think you have to be like a monk where you're meditating for like 10 hours a day, not eating, um, completely detached from the world around you, and that you have to have some kind of superior discipline and connection to make contact, to do healing, to accept healing, to do Qi Gong. I have not found that to be true at all. Although I have to say, the power of the monk, I would not argue with. There's a whole bunch of Buddhist monks in the southern United States. I don't know if they're finished their walk or they're still walking for peace. I think it's very powerful. But what about us ordinary people who just, our days are busy. A lot of people have jobs, most people have family to look after. What's your take on how holy or austere our life has to be? It's almost like we're trying to become worthy of this kind of phenomenon. But I have found the more I get away from that kind of thinking, the easier it is. But what's your take, Maya, on that?
yeah, so I think that that's a huge misconception about spirituality and contact, divination, and receiving messages. Um, I came into all of this thinking that, while the monk is, that is a very powerful being. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, all of us would be extremely powerful if all we had to do was you meditate and fast and pray um, and live on a mountain away from the rest of the world.
Mm-hmm.
But we are also here to live this reality where there's polarity and family and balance and challenge and learning and being among everyone else. So I think that there's something to being a monk, but I don't think that it's necessary. And I think the huge misconception is thinking that you need to be worthy because we already came here with the worthiness that we are source. We are the spark of source already. We are already worthy, and part of being here is living on this physical reality while embodying all these higher aspects and just really just doing the best we can. I think it all comes down to intention. If you have the intention to be the best person you possibly can, take care of your physical body, your spiritual body, your astral body, your emotional body, and take care of the people around you and love, live in love as much as possible. Now that is challenging sometimes when not everybody else is living that way. But I would almost say that doing what we do in the balance of it all while having spirituality, being in touch with our higher self, knowing our guides, knowing how to heal ourselves and others is almost more powerful because they have an advantage of being isolated, and their only job is to be in the higher realms and be, in the now within themselves all the time. Whereas we have to learn how to have all things at all times and still maintain that goodness of heart within us. So I would say that what we do is harder and can also bring about more knowledge and make us more powerful in the end, if we still try to maintain that thought of being one with all and living life with love.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Totally agree with you. So what's your take on it, Jay? Do people have to live like monks, or can they start? I kind of, in my life, my progress has been 2 steps forward, 1 back, to be totally honest. I start making progress, something happens, I fall back, or I do a old habit or whatever, right? And then I get back on it and it's 2 steps forward. And it isn't until 5 years later, not saying it would take that long for everyone else, but for me, I guess I'm a slow learner. I look back and I go, oh my God, I can't believe the progress I've made. I'm not even the same person I was 5 years ago. And of course, I'm very happy about the changes, because the changes also brought with it peace and contentment and a very beautiful life in a crazy dramatic world. But what's your take, Jay, on how holy we have to be? Obviously, if we eat better, get exercise, get more oxygen, we're going to have a better life. But beyond that, do you think spirit holds out for only the most disciplined? What's your take on it?
No, it doesn't at all. It's like everyone walks and everyone's a spirit, so everyone's on their spiritual path no matter what, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's the homeless guy down the street or the person trying to be a monk. But like what you said, yeah, there's an amount of work that we should do with the energy work and breathe in and meditations and eating right, because food's very terrible for us, keeping us weighed down energetically.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of like, I do like the monks. I'm following a monk Shaolin guy right now. He's pretty cool. He's not like the typical one, but
Mm-hmm.
you can go back to the ancient samurai as well. You know what I mean? They did their breath
Mm-hmm.
work, their physical training. They did their version of Qi Gong. They did their meditations. They trained to be warriors. So they were doing a lot of, they were training mind, body, and spirit too, right? And they were doing a lot of what the monks were, but they weren't monk-like. They were the ancient samurai. So I always say we can be the ancient warrior in modern times, right? We don't have to
Mm-hmm.
be. What I seen, what made people think that was the New Age, when New Age come out. You know what I mean? Because I was going to New Age groups here in the city when I was always into the paranormal and aliens and stuff. But when I got into Qigong and healed myself and others, I started going to these groups, and I was the bad boy of the spiritual group, right? Like, because I was so off of what their structure, what they've been taught, because everyone
Mm-hmm.
is taught. They think that's their belief system and don't get out of it. But a lot of these speakers that were coming, I call it wearing their bells and whistles, dressing the spiritual part, right? They're
Mm-hmm.
trying to pretend they're like Jesus. We've seen that a lot in the spiritual community. People try to dress the part the best to get most clients. But the way I seen it, portraying this holy thing, which
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to do. Like, I always say, this goes back to the churches, right? Like, my church is better than yours. They would decorate
Mm-hmm.
your fancy bells and decorate it up. So this kind of sounds bad to say, but I would kind of look at those people and say it's the same thing as the church with the doors. All
Yeah.
I see is a bunch of knobs. You know what I mean? You're decorating yourself up to be something that you're not, to pretend that
Mm-hmm.
you're holy. And it's not, because the soul within us, like, we are the ultimate blueprint design of our soul, and on the other side, we're more real than here, and we are the same as we are here. Like, New Age bought this getting rid of the ego, but we got to accept our ego, because in past lives we're 95% the same in each life and on the other side. You know what I mean? If you're a jokey person, you're witty, you were that before. and you're that as a soul, and you're that as a soul on the other side. They don't care about spiritual decorations and principles. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We
I
only call
do.
it. They don't even like that word spiritual over there. Like we only call it spiritual here. Over there, they just call it more real, right? We're back to being
Mm-hmm.
more real aspect outside of all constructs.
Absolutely. Yeah, I always wanted to be part of a group. I checked out so many religions, so many spiritual groups. It was always seemed to be the same thing. My guides taught me when I started really, getting downloads and getting some really serious contact. My guides let me know right away not the steps I needed to take to not form a cult. Absolutely no um, uh, occultism could be involved in my spiritual work. It was really important.
Uh,
So I started looking for other groups, religions, and stuff. And it was always the same thing. There's someone who assigns themselves as being the grand poobah. They put a whole bunch of restrictions and rules, and your life is hard enough already, without a bunch of other things. I found the most helpful thing for me was just being consciously present, being aware of my thoughts, being aware of my intentions. And I found that if I watch them, even if it's a bad habit, I watch it from a third person perspective, and then it goes away or it dissolves or it heals on its own without self discipline. But the act of watching it, and believe me, there's lots about me that's so imperfect, and I'll be
yeah,
watching it, and sometimes it's even disturbing to see because you're not trying to fool anybody. It's the real, right? And you start to see it. But I'm very happy. I found suppressing and trying to stop things and trying to shun things, none of that worked for me, but just simple observation from the inside. So it's a quiet work. Nobody even knows you're doing it, right? And
yeah.
I found that to be the most helpful. I'm wondering if you two want to add to that or have had similar, or
Yeah.
what's your take on it?
Well, what you said is very powerful. I mean, and everyone's got to be loud. You know what I mean? Everyone's got to be
Mm-hmm.
loud. Say, "Oh, look at me! Look how great I am!" Or else always brag about the work they're doing. The true work is, like I said, when you say you get up in the morning or anytime you're going in and doing your own work, you can do the great work for yourself and just be quiet about it. You don't have to tell nobody,
Mm-hmm.
and that'll transmute as powerful energy that will radiate out anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm finding that in
Mm-hmm.
the community now, the ET community, disclosure community, everyone wants to be a popular guru, and
Mm.
just for likes and shares on social media.
Yeah, no,
And,
that
and
doesn't work out so well in my opinion. But
people are back,
go for it. Good luck to you if that's, what they want to do, right?
but people are back to decorating themselves up. Just like I talked about the new age, you got to be telling yourself that
Mm-hmm.
you're not. We're all the same thing. We all have the same access. But these talks, like I talked about in my show, us coming together, this is what true wisdom is, because we all don't know anything. I might learn something from you. You learn something from Maya, people in the chats. The true coming together to access our source codes and soul codes from soul families. Because, like I said before, no meetings by chance, right? We all come together. That's the true ascension right there. Not following gurus down certain paths of belief systems.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'll get into that stuff more. I got more channel and stuff from my Palladian guide there. But yeah, we all of us, like, we're all here for the same reason. Are the we're an embodiment of the human form. We were made basically more perfect than other beings. We can access certain portals that they can't, right? And that's why it was kind of like the experiment. Our 23rd chromosomes Pleiadian. We had Arcturians, but some donate genetics to make this body for what's coming or what we're bringing, what we're bringing down. Like we are the angels. We are the galactics. Like we are them, right? That's why I would
Mm-hmm.
say that a lot of our guides are our cosmic brothers and sisters, and we can access that information. It's hard because we're so beat down from so many incarnations and wrong soul families, losing soul shards. Like we get disconnected, right? But
Mm-hmm.
stuff like this in your shows and people coming together, we're bringing those back, even though it don't seem like it. We are. It's like we're
Mm-hmm.
tracking that back, so we can all put our inner light and shine outwards.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of weird. I see things in a weird way sometimes, but
Well, it offers, you have a unique perspective, and it's absolutely valid. And I think the more tolerant we are of each other's perspectives, the more we can learn from each other. That's my take. Maya, did you want to add to that at all, to the discussion?
I totally agree that the taking the outside observer aspect, especially when it's on you and your actions, I can catch myself pretty quickly when I'm acting out of not in love, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
could be me being judgmental or me having like a smirky comment. Um, so, when I can catch myself doing that, and if I can stop myself, because sometimes I can catch myself and then I don't stop, even though I know I'm being not so nice. But if I can catch myself and be the observer, it is extremely helpful. And it's about having accountability for your own actions at all times, I think. Um,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you think that you're in the right and someone else is in the wrong. And
Mm-hmm.
things that I love about having my guides and knowing my guides is that they will pull me up on my shit if I'm trying to justify something. So not
Mm-hmm.
that I completely depend on them because, I still have to have the power within. But if I am trying to over justify something that doesn't need to be justified, they will tell me that's,
Mm-hmm.
that's not the way it is. So I really appreciate having that about them. And also you were talking about the gurus, and that's basically another religion. So that's just another aspect of us trying to be in a control and looking up to a godlike figure. And I'm not too sure what it was, but there was something about us needing to look up and pray to something else. I can't remember what it
Mm-hmm.
was, but there's that aspect again of this person has to be better than me and more godly, and I have to listen to everything they say. And that is exactly like religion, and it keeps us suppressed and oppressed. And
Mm-hmm.
the thing I've been thinking about lately is if you are listening to something or someone and it makes you feel like you have less power, and it makes
Mm-hmm.
you feel like they are more powerful than you, then
Mm-hmm.
it's time to stop and move on. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yep, totally. And I think it's all also tied into our programming where we're programmed to always be looking for a savior. When we think about government, oh man, there's a lot of arguments over that. And yet government means mind control. They're not here to run a country. They're not here to fix our problems or to care about us. They're here to control our minds. That's what government means. I know I'm probably being a bit bold by saying that,
no, not
but
at all.
it comes from that looking for an external savior. And what I keep trying to emphasize with folks, and again, it's not that I'm right and they're wrong, it's just based on my own experience, what's been successful for me, is that I need to go inside to find my connections, my resources, and my guidance. But as long as I was looking out elsewhere for a guru, for a spiritual practice, for a government leader, for whatever, even in the medical realms, you know what I mean? I was always sorely disappointed until I understood that I have all of that. And that means everyone else does too, because I'm nobody special. I'm just a really ordinary, flawed human being like everybody else. Jay, what did you want to say about that?
I was, that's weird because outside me doing shows and talking to people, you guys, and in the chat, everyone just sees me as the guitar player, construction worker. You know what I mean? I play that role. I don't walk around acting like or talking about the stuff unless I come across somebody that I can see that they have. Maybe some people will say certain things and like, oh, maybe just a little bit of a conspiracy theorist, and then you can get on to other topics. I've been finding people that way. It's almost like I'm attracting them to me somehow. Then we get talking
Mm-hmm.
about this stuff. Yeah, they don't. We all can just be our our characters as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
But our characters, a
Mhm.
lot of that's what I was talking about earlier about doing self work, and we can realize that we're not a product of the outside world, right? And that's where we get
Mhm.
a lot of our information, right? Try to get our own information. Like a lot of stuff I say might not even be right. I could be getting. I was showing you that I how to access different realms, like going to different dimensional spaces or connect with Palladians. That could have just been how I was shown by one group of beings how to do it. You know what I mean? But there's many ways to do it. Someone else could be shown somehow else. So I just kind of put out there as things come to me, not following no belief system path. And my things change. Like 2 months ago, I was focused on something that now I don't give any attention to. But I think I was meant to go through that, right?
Mhm.
Maybe go through that as something I thought might be truth and had meaning to me, but then just past that, say, okay, no, I don't. But I'm glad that I put a lot of channeling and thoughts into that. Like we're always progressing, right?
Mhm. Hopefully, because I have I have great faith in humanity and in our power, and so I see all the for lack of a better word, shenanigans going on left, right, center in my neighborhood, probably in your neighborhood too. And it used to worry me and get me down, but not so much anymore. I really believe there's a higher purpose, that we're a lot stronger than what we think we are. And I think we'll start catching on to that. Maya, did you have anything you wanted to add to the conversation before we move on a little bit?
Yeah, I agree with Jay, as in we can just play our character. I have a hard time speaking to the outside world because, I mean, outside as in outside of this community that we have, because I feel like I have to bite my tongue a lot, and I feel like
Mm,
if I do say anything, I get looked at like I'm a wackadoo, or they just completely, phase out and don't even pay attention to what I'm saying.
mhm,
So it's hard for me sometimes. And also, speaking about the having hope, like I've been going through like a roller coaster lately where I'll go through days of like just sadness for humanity. And I always end up picking myself up. But yeah, it's an ebb and flow for me because I am a pretty like positive person, but some days I get like, man, why can't we just get it together? Why can't everyone just, you know, figure out what the meaning of all this is? So yeah, it's a huge balance for me for sure.
Well, I'm going to add something to that. Here's the thing: there's going to be people out there. I don't even like to use the word waking up, but there's people out there that's not going to. You know what I mean?
mhm,
I see people every day on the bus at work. You can just tell they're a product of not themselves, right? The way they act, you're stressed out, you're getting angry at other people. They would never believe in this. They would never believe in ETs or different dimensions or anything, right? And the way I see it, it's a double-edged sword because it's going to shatter their realities. You know what I mean? If things come into fruition that we've all been projecting or hoping for or think that's going to happen, this
mhm,
control system. Some people, they love being slaves. They love being a part of the system. You know what I mean? They're into the government. Then they're on the other hand, they're into conspiracies and they're into this whole Federation's going to save us, white hat, black hat. You know what I mean? That's the soul savior program.
mhm,
The way I was seeing it is the white hats are just there to allow the black hats to do what they want to do and just put out pieces of information to think something's being done, right? Because all this dates and stuff that we've been given have been going on since 1996 when my parents were into this stuff. You know what I mean? It never happens.
mhm,
We got to quit giving
mhm.
our paying. We got to quit paying attention because I always say when we pay attention, we're giving our attention away. It's like we're giving a cosmic debit to the bank of our energy, right? But
Mhm.
enough of us talking. It's great. I think more, there is a certain amount of people that I think they have timeline markers in their timeline that something will happen to them to shift their consciousness, but a lot of people just ain't, right. And I think that has a lot to
Mhm.
do with the timeline split. Kind of, some people are just gonna, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Like there's
I
people,
do.
there's people out there just say an Arcturian or Andromedan ship come here landed right now, they would still go ha ha fake. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? If it happened right in front of them. There's so much so
Oh
bad. It's so bad conditioning, it's hard to watch, but there's an awful lot
yeah,
that we can't do anything for them, right? So,
yeah. Oh, I've seen a lot of people where they love to scroll through and watch other people getting hurt, falling on the ice, or uh, being mean to their pet, and they're laughing their heads off. They think it's so funny. I I don't get that reaction at all. I get, a compassionate or empathetic reaction, and I actually can't watch too much of that stuff. But yeah, it's hard to say what drives people. I was going to ask both of you, boy, the time sure flies when you're on the show. Do you have any predictions for 2026? Do you see any patterns, trends? Anything that we should be aware of? And if you don't, that's totally okay too. I don't want to put you on the spot.
You, Maya, have anything for that?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a prediction, but it's a pattern within myself. I like to talk about using day-to-day life as a divination tool.
Mm-hmm.
So the guides and or universe or higher self will put things and make it stand right out. I mean, you guys know what I mean, but
Mm-hmm.
so water has been a huge theme for like the past, I want to say 6 months, 5, 6 months for me, where it's just been like, okay, something with water is happening, and even in my own home, there's been like issues with water. Um, and yeah, every time I pull a different kind of tarot card, there's a bunch of water, just water, water, water. So I feel like something big might, and it's a timeline thing. So who knows? I
Mm-hmm.
could be totally off, or they could be telling me about something that's a possibility that doesn't happen. But I
Mm-hmm.
feel like something with water, something huge with
Mm-hmm.
water could happen, and I don't know what that is. I don't really do a lot of predictions about things. There are small things sometimes that I get right, but yeah. So water. There's something about water happening.
Yeah, I've actually heard that quite a few times, and people have also indicated that it's coming from the east, so like New York, somewhere over there is going to have an impact. Personally, I want everyone to sit down and sing Kumbaya and pet our animals and talk to the birds. Well, that's never going to happen, Karen. So you got a long wait if you expect everyone to do that. But at the same time, I don't want to see disaster, but sometimes seems to be the only way that people can wake up too. So, I've said to my guides on many issues, why is this continuing? And they just tell me it's the only way. Like it's not my guide's fault, but I'm just saying it wouldn't happen if it wasn't necessary for the evolution of humanity. And that's important. The other thing too is even the good news I hear, I don't necessarily put stock in because, they can talk about, oh, they're doing this, they're doing that, they're doing everything else, but nobody's talking about rescuing the children, stopping the human uh, trade, slavery, slave trade. There's some really nasty stuff going on in this world, and nobody seems to care. And to me,
No.
that is more shocking than anything else. So I'm hoping that 2026 the lid gets blown off so many things that we've been wondering about. I would love it if it just got blown off, because then we could adjust and move on, right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not getting any predictions because I see it as we are in Earth timeout since 2011.
Mm-hmm.
Predictions before that, people were getting glimpses of potentialities that were more closer to happening than not, so they come as true.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right now, we're in, I call it Earth timeout, that we are personally creating our own potentialities each day, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was shown possible future events. I was shown many, but they're not going to happen. There were possible timeline events if things didn't go a certain way. There, I was showing them as well. One was I was on an Anunnaki scout ship, and they were showing me meteors hitting and destroying the Earth. And they told me that that was a possible timeline, but it's wiped out. It's no longer going to happen. Then
Wonderful.
I used to get catastrophic dreams. Then there's
Mm-hmm.
like my plating guy told me that that was another possible timeline that was supposed to play out. And
Mm-hmm.
the other one is I'm not sure what this is, but is that we are actually going to see craft in the sky that we can't perceived by our 3D reality looking. Like, this is going to look so weird, and the sounds that we just ain't going to be able to comprehend what they are when the real ones come here. That's one I've been getting constantly since 2014. So I don't know if that's something that is going to happen, or they're showing me that's what it would look like if they came, right?
Absolutely. So, as I mentioned, we're quickly running out of time. I want to give you each a little bit of space to talk about anything that you had hoped to share with the audience today, or anything, and also where people can reach you and all that other good stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was connecting back to my Pleiadian guide. I haven't for years, over 10 years. It come back the other day when I was doing my meditation with the same name as Mishka, but it was weird because that was a male before, but the voice came in as female. Then today, that the voice that was Mishka come back in and said, "Get over here, Isabella. You have a message to tell." So I'm thinking the female's voice was a being's name named Isabella. Like, why did that come in so strong, clear audiently, right? But I never got nothing after that, but it was just strange that just come in pretty powerful to me. Yeah, it was pretty interesting.
Very much so. And Maya, what do you want to share with the audience today?
So because we talked about gurus a little bit, be your own guru above all else. So always check in on yourself and your body, how your body is reacting to any given information or situation. Be your own guru. And just because someone is completely educated and has all this like book knowledge or any kind of knowledge doesn't necessarily mean that it's 100% correct or 100% correct for you. And also to look at, because I've been having a lot of like past stuff come up because I've been sharing a lot about my life. And it made me realize that these past, like, I think it's obviously something that I've known, but I think it's important for everybody to remember because we can get kind of down on ourselves because of the programming. Like, I did all these dumb things when I was younger, and look at all the turmoil I caused myself. Well, these past mistakes and these things that were hard, they created the person you are today. Kind of like pressure creates a diamond. So
yes.
Yeah, don't ever get down on yourself about anything that's happened in the past. You can't change it, but think about how it's changed you as a person you are today. You are the diamond of your own life.
That's so beautifully put. And, when I think about my own experience, it's also so very, very true. I have the advantage of being an older person. I get to look back at my life. I get to see the patterns. I get to see what went well, what didn't go so well. I can course correct in the now and make sure that tomorrow is better. And the day after that is even better. It's very, very, very exciting. It's an exciting time to be alive. So there's a book, I can't remember, maybe that's what it was called. It was something where it starts off, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. And it's sort of, I believe, intermingled, and it's all around us. So what do we want to, getting back to Qi Gong again, when we're reaching out and we're pressing on this egg or on the sphere that surrounds us, that's energetic. But I think we can also see the good and the not so good. But I think personal responsibility, as you both brought up, is so, so important. And everybody wants a softer, kinder, easier way. But I know if there was a softer, kinder, easier way, I would have found it. And there isn't. It just means, being, I guess, maturing as a human being and taking responsibility, trying new things and undoing our own programming, I think is so very, very important. So I want to thank both of you for coming back on the show. I hope you'll come back again and share how things are going for you. Again, where can people find you? It's going to be, the links are going to be in the description, but it's good for you to tell people because a lot of people will be listening on an audio platform.
Okay. That's weird. I just had a bunch of messages come in. I'll do it on another show about living the mystic life daily, being the ancient warrior in modern time, to how to operate with our thoughts out in the world. That's weird. I just had a bunch of stuff just downloaded to me. We'll talk about this another time.
Well, if you want to give a glimpse, you do have time. I don't mean to rush you. So if you want to,
okay.
If you feel
okay.
Today. Okay.
Or I might make a video about it later today. No, I'm just at J Skyrunner, YouTube at J Skyrunner, and the website is celestialenergy.net.
Wonderful. And Maya, where can people find you?
You can find me on YouTube at Miya StarFire, and you can also connect with me on Facebook under Miya StarFire as well. Me and Jay do a show. I think we agreed on Thursday nights, every Thursday night, to do readings and healings. That will be basically on his show until I can figure out how to also link out my show to it, which is a challenge for me. So that'll be on Jay Skyrunner's show. Yeah.
Wonderful. Now, I don't know if I have links for you, Maya. You might want to send me your links in Messenger. But in the meantime, I know that if people want to contact you, and they can do so also through Jay, so they could just let Jay know they're trying to get a hold of you, and I'm sure he'd pass on the message.
Yeah.
So I need to update my links. I don't actually have links for you. So if you want to send that to me, I can include that in the description under the replay, because I'll be replaying this on YouTube, but it'll also be going up on Odyssey, Telegram, and of course the whole Forbidden Knowledge Network. I want people to be able to find you guys. I find you very easy to talk to, very reasonable in your opinions, and the way you say things. You're very respectful to other humans and how they want to be, and I just really enjoy having you on the program. I also want to thank everybody who came out to the live chat, took the time to be here and share with us their comments. Very nice. We had Cosmic Voice 33. Of course, we have Denise. We have Polly Roderman has also been in the house. And Mark DeCurious, not sure how to say his name, and so many more. Thank you all very much. And thank you for those listening on the audio. And I'm hoping you will give us some stars if you enjoyed the program. Please go check out Jay and Maya. And everybody, I hope you have the best week ever. Maya, did you have something you wanted to add?
No, I don't know how to join the chat, but I saw Jay put my link there. Thank you, Jay.
Yeah.
There we are. I'm going to put that up. There we go. Now it's up for everybody for all time. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And
thank you.
Thank you so much for having us back on.
Oh, my pleasure. And we'll do this again soon. So I guess that's it for today, everybody. Thanks again for joining us. Take good care of yourselves. Leave us a comment. And of course, Denise, thank you for being my moderator. You're absolutely amazing. I appreciate you so very much. So take care, everybody, and we will see you again soon. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Hey, bye. Peace.
Thank you for joining me for the Aliens and Angels podcast. Read about my true life ET contact in my book called Transdimensional Meet the New Neighbors, which is now available on Amazon worldwide. Subscribe to my YouTube, Rumble, and X channels at Karen Holton TV. The like button and leave me a comment. And please do share this podcast with your friends. Check out my website at www.karenholtonhealthcoach.com to see my free resources and amazing products and services. All of the links will be in the description below. As part of the Forbidden Knowledge Network, you'll also find the Quantum Guide Show with Karen Holton on all audio platforms. Until next time, keep up the good work.